Hello, Michelle here, and today I wanted to give you guys 5 things that you can do to get the narcissist to leave you alone. And the reason I'm putting up this video is because I've gotten that question so often lately. So I want to give you 5 tips. Tip number 1, and you guys know this one very well, it's to go no contact. And yes, you can do this even if you have kids. Okay, so if you don't have kids, obviously you can block their number, block them from your social media, change your email if you have to. So you have them completely blocked and you never give in, not even once, because if you do it once, the narcissist will say to themselves, oh, okay, I can get them to break contact at some point. All I have to do is present it in this way. I need help, or just this one thing, or however they want to present it. The important thing to remember is to never give in. If you have children, the only contact, it's true, you can't go completely no contact, but you can go no emotional contact. In other words, the only thing you talk about is the children. It could be letting them know what time you're dropping the kids off. It could be an event that happened that they need to know about. You don't necessarily need them to answer you. I get a lot of people that say, you know, I let the other party know what's going on, but they don't answer me, and they're frustrated. Guess what? That's okay. Your responsibility isn't to get them to contact you, isn't to know how they feel about it in a sense. It's to give them that knowledge of what happened. What they do with it is their responsibility. Okay? So remember that. If they accuse you of anything, resist the tendency to want to defend yourself. Resist the tendency to call out their lies. Don't even respond. If they send you an email or a text with all these accusations, accusing you of things that most likely they're doing, and in the middle of their text it's saying that the kids will be dropped off at 3, simply answer that back. Okay, I'll be ready at 3. As if nothing else was listened to. Okay, that's how you go no contact when you have children. You don't respond, you don't react, you only give knowledge that pertains to the children, and you only respond to knowledge that pertains to the children. The second tip that helps you to make sure the narcissist just leaves you alone is, and this is a hard one, is doing an inventory of your life and seeing who in it is connected to the other party. Which means, yeah, you might have to change friends. You might have to let go of people that were part of your relationship with the narcissist. That's hard. It's not easy, but it's one of the only ways to make sure the narcissist leaves you alone. And that's getting friends or a circle of friends, people you trust, that do not have a relationship with the narcissist as well. And the reason to that is because the narcissist will employ their flying monkeys to get information out of them about you that could potentially lead you to winding up breaking contact. Okay, you don't want to be in that position. If this person has damaged you and you simply want to move on, that's something that you may have to realize, is that you may have to cut ties with anyone that is connected with the relationship that you had with the narcissist. Number 3 is to completely ignore their smear campaign. You see, the narcissist will try to rope you back in until they realize that you are committed to not being in the relationship. When that happens, that gives them such a narcissistic injury that you have rejected them, that you have considered yourself better in the sense that you're moving on without them because you want better for your life, that they will want to hurt you. And that's sad, but it's true. And they will do this by means of a smear campaign. They will talk bad about you. And that's why it's helpful to do tip number 2 and get rid of any friends you had in common. That way, when the smear campaign comes, it doesn't hurt you as much because you're not surrounded by people that can be turned against you by the narcissist, okay? So when that happens, if you do run into somebody that you guys knew in common and they bring up something negative that the narcissist said about you, resist the urge to defend yourself. Resist the urge to show the truth to this person. This is hard. And I get people sometimes that are like, well, that's not fair because they're talking bad about me. And, you know, I want people to know the truth. I get it. It sucks that people are fed lies and they believe them. The problem is whenever somebody has gone up against the smear campaign of a narcissist and tries to prove the truth, it always backfires. People never believe it because the narcissist knows how to set you up so that people will think that when you're talking bad about the narcissist, actually when you're telling the truth about the narcissist will have planted seeds in the mind of the person that you are talking bad about them, and you only want to turn people against them. The funny thing is that's exactly what they're doing. But because they're expert manipulators, they know how to do it and get away with it. It sucks, but it's just reality. Whenever somebody has gone up against a narcissist, people don't believe you. So you're telling the truth. The narcissist is lying, and people are believing the narcissist, and you're seeing that. When you allow yourself to be roped into that, you're seeing that people are flat out rejecting the truth and accepting lies, and that only causes you more pain. So it's better to just say something absolutely neutral. If they say something, oh, so-and-so said this about you, and they may do it in a slight way, in a sneaky kind of a way. You could say something like, well, I'm sorry he or she feels that way. I hope the best for him or her. And you can change the subject, tell the person you have to go, it was nice seeing them, and leave. They will be left with a question mark in their mind like, wow, so-and-so seems happy and together and not vindictive and not resentful. That's kind of weird because he said she would be or he would be. So it leaves a bit of doubt in the minds of the people that have been fed lies. Better for them to have that doubt of what the narcissist says than to play into it and do exactly what the narcissist told them you would do, which is tell the truth, although the narcissist calls it lying and trying to make them look bad. When you do that, they actually believe the narcissist. I hope this makes sense, because this is one that so many people don't get. They think, well, because they have the truth, it will be believed. Truth will prevail. Well, guess what? When you're up against an expert manipulator, truth does not prevail. So better to be neutral, know who you are, recognize that you don't need other people to know the truth in order for you to know the truth, and continue on with your life. Number 4, if you happen to run into the narcissist in public, act as if you don't know them. So you're at a restaurant and all of a sudden you see the narcissist across the other room. Instead of, whispering to the person you're with and kind of looking over or wondering if they notice you, and you're always kind of glancing over. No, you saw that person, recognize it, and then focus on where you are now as if they're not there. The narcissist will realize that they have no power over you, not even positive and not even negative reactions. And that will help them to realize that it's not worth trying to be in your life. It's not worth trying to get a reaction from you because it's not working. It only makes them feel less powerful, less godlike, less perfect, and that's what they don't want to feel, okay? So as if they don't exist. Act as if they're not there, as if you don't see them. If you saw them and they happen to notice that you see them, just continue to focus as if they're gone, okay? And you can do that by being completely present. If your mind starts to wander and questions start coming up about what they're thinking, what they're doing, pay attention to those thoughts, notice them, and bring them back to what you're doing in the moment. That will help you a lot. Number 5, be completely focused on your life. Be busy in things that you enjoy doing, focusing on who you are as a person, rebuilding yourself in whatever way you feel you need to. In other words, instead of focusing on what they're doing, what they might be doing, what they're possibly doing, what they're conniving to do, focus on you. The funny thing about narcissistic people is they have a sixth sense when it comes to what other people are feeling. So even if you're wondering about them, if they happen to run into it, they'll be able to know. But when you're fully focused on yourself, on your life, what you're doing, making yourself happy, learning to love yourself from the inside out, they can sense that as well. And they see that they get no narcissistic supply. So be fully present in your life. Be fully focused on what you're doing, what you're feeling, what your plans are for the future. And what the narcissist is doing will little by little have less and less importance, and until eventually it's completely gone. All of these suggestions are not easy. They take practice, they take effort, but it is so worth it because it begins your healing process faster. The more you focus on the narcissist, the less you're focusing on yourself and what you need. So make sure that you're putting yourself as a priority, and hopefully And by putting these tips into practice, the narcissist will realize that you are not going to give them any more narcissistic supply, and they'll move on.